Hey Mark, thanks for helping out with the printer. I'm going to modify a few of the steps from the thing, so I thought I'd make a video for you to show you what they are. Basically what I'm doing is building an enclosure for it, which means the power supply can't be inside the enclosure, so we're not going to mount it to the printer. We're going to leave it as a separate thing with just the cable running to it, so I can put it outside the enclosure in the end. So to do that, here's some steps. So the first change is on page 20, and even though we have the black PSU, we're going to do the preparation as if it's a silver one. We want the little screw heads to be on the top of this back left, or whichever one this is, back right, back left to you. This one, we want them on the top there, not on the side. So that's change number one. Again, that's page 20. Then the next change doesn't happen until page 106. And here this is installing the actual PSU, the power supply, onto the machine. Instead, we're going to try and install one of these black brackets. Now, I don't think these printed very well. I don't think this unevenness here was intentional. I think it has to do with the heat bed temperature. So it doesn't fit on well if it's wobbly or something. Don't tighten it, don't put it on. I'll figure out, I'll have to reprint these maybe. So my guess is it's not going to fit well. Just feel free to leave it off. It won't damage anything for it not to be there. Just add some rigidity. And then we're not going to do step 29 ever, which is mounting the actual one. And then connecting the wires to the PSU. My suggestion is to wait on this till the very end if you do it at all. That way, as you're moving the printer back and forth to do stuff with, it's not tethered to some random heavy chunk of metal on the side of the table. So hold off on steps 30 to 33. And then the next spot is page 118. And the one thing we're going to do, they're going to route the power supply cables underneath. Don't include the power supply cables in this routing. The power supply won't be on this side of the printer. So just don't include them as you route. I think there's still some like X-axis cables that follow this route. Just not the power supply ones. And the power supply ones are there's like two black and red. And then also the braided black and white are all power supply cables. Those don't go in yet. And then over here, when you're hooking up the board, yes, go ahead and connect the power supply cables as it says to the board. Those are going to definitely go there over time, so connect them now. And that was page 123. And then on page 125, this is just putting the cover and verifying the correct connection of the power supply. So again, I would say if you're going to connect it at all, wait till the end to connect it. And then the next change comes here after step 42. Now, if you want to fire a printer up and see how it prints, this is the point where you're going to have to go back and do steps 30 to 33, which is connecting the wires to the power supply. And then steps 27 to 28, which is just covering the power supply connectors up. If you don't want to fire it up, then you can it's probably easier to bring it back to school without the power supplies connected, and I'll connect those later. But if you do want to fire it up, there's some really neat prints, example prints on the SD card, and you can go through the steps for finalizing all the setup for the printer, the pre-flight check and all that stuff. It's online. So again, thank you. What a lifesaver. You're going to do 2 of these. That's going to save me 10 to 12 hours of assembly time. I hope it takes you a lot less than it does me, but I was pretty anal and careful and afraid of jacking them up, so I went a little slower than what I maybe needed to. But again, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. My number is 224-430-1855. 224-430-1855. Bye, and thanks.